Now, in this video, we will going to discuss about the product data description. It is a marketing copy generated by the company to provide the customers with sufficient data or information regarding the features and characteristics of the product in order to compel them to purchase the product with confidence. So this is about the what does it mean? Here he says it's a marketing copy. That means whenever the product has to be launched or the product has to be reached the market, so they will going to give the brief description about the product. So and what are all its features and what are its characteristics, so that the customers will going to be attracted, so that they will going to be compelled to purchase the product with confidence. What would be the type of description? The description can contain a brief write-up, photos or images, videos or animation in case of online or web description, etc. So how the description will going to be of the product data? It can be a simple write-up, that may be a documentation which will going to be written, which will going to be a write-up, or if it can be a photos or images. Sometimes if you go for an online, how the product will going to work and how does it will going to work if you want to see, which is basically if you want to purchase it online, then you can have the videos or animations and all those things which are going to be there in the product description. Product data description writing can be taken from well-experienced data analyst or an expert involved in editorial works. Who will going to do that? The people who will going to do that will be a data analyst or an expert involved in editorial works. A few guideline steps or strategies involved in writing product description are briefed as: number 1, define target audience or groups. Some of the key questions need to be addressed in this regard. So, whom to be targeting? Who are the buyers of the product and their needs? So that first question will going to arise is who will going to buy the product and what are their needs? What explanation does the product require in order to improve their life or usage value? That means how we can be able to improve the life of the product. What exactly is the target audience? These are the points which will going to define the target audience. Point number 2 is optimize the product description. Optimizing the description with creativity and specific keywords helps to convey the most important information in a short and sweet manner. Optimize the product description. Suppose when you want to search about this particular product, so we need to give some of the keywords. That keyword should have a proper meaning, so that that keyword itself will be able to give important information and in a short possible way. Point number 3, focus on product's attributes and benefits. The description must ensure that the product has competitive and unique features that can improve the usage value of the product. Use simple and point number 4, use simple and effective language for communication. It must also include certain words and phrases that naturally evoke an emotional response in humans that can encourage them to purchase the product. That means it should give a more effective language of communication, so that it will going to reach the customers. Suppose when you see some advertisement, we will also feel, yes, this product has got a meaningful advertisement. That means it will going to touch us the customers, so that they will going to have a interest in going for the purchase. Be fair. Point number 5, be fair and transparent. Projecting the product to be revolutionary and innovative when it is actually not can make the description being false. So that means you should be transparent. You should not give any innovative thing and projecting the product in a revolutionary and innovative way when it is actually not. So that means you are not misleading the customers. People like to buy products from people they trust. Building trust is different from attracting more customers and selling more products. Then comes the data models. The objective of this is mostly to support product data management, that is PDM, functions of projects life cycle management, that is PLM, by providing a structure for product data creation, identification, storage, and exchange during the whole product life cycle. When data model is created, there is a need to define the data, its attributes, and relationship with other data, and also define constraints or limitations on the data. So that means you should have the data model which have been integrated or which has been having a connection, which has been having a connected and having a relationship with the other data, and also defines constraints or limitations on the data. Some of the commonly used data models are, so one is hierarchical database model. The data is organized into a tree-like structure where each record has a single parent or root. The data is stored in a parent-children relationship node such that each child in the tree may have only one parent, and relationships or linkages between the children are not permitted, even if they make sense from a logical standpoint. Characteristics are the data access and updating can be made rapidly because the relationships are established in advance. To retrieve a data, one has to traverse through each tree until the record is found. Further, adding a new field or record requires the entire database to be redefined. So here, which is one is the root. Root has got a parent. So we have two levels. So we have level 1 and here also a level 9. So this is a parent and this is a parent and child. So there is a relationship between these two. Then level 1 will want to have two childs, level 2 and level 3 or level 2. And here these two are the childs. Again we have two childs. That means each one will have got its own independency. There is no dependency. So they will have a clear-cut definitions of these things. And this is how this is the hierarchical way of defining the structure. So what is the network database model? Next comes with network database model. It uses a network structure to create relationship between entities. The data is organized in many-to-many relationship between linked records. So here, unlike hierarchical database, where one node can have one parent only, a network node can have relationship with multiple entities. Characteristics, it overcomes the drawbacks of hierarchical model by establishing more relationships through multiple paths. However, the network model is complicated, requiring large digital computers. That means as the data is being clustered, since the data has become clustered, so naturally it becomes the memory requirement is high. So therefore you require a large digital computers. Then we have the third model is relational database model, which is also called RDBMs. The data is stored in tabular form in the columns and rows. Each column in the table represents an attribute and each row represents a record. So what does it mean, the attributes? Attributes means the characteristics. So each model has got its own features. So we are going to have that. Then in the row wise, we will going to have represents the record. That is, record 1 has got so many attributes. Record 2 has got so many attributes, like that. Each field in a table represents a data value. The relationship between the data is relational in nature. That is, the model accounts for one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many relationship. Some of the popular database management system can use are Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, SQLite, and IBM DB2. Characteristics, the model provides flexibility and allows changes to the database structure to be easily accommodated. That means you can have any type of flexibility in adding or removing the data. It facilitates multiple views of the same database for different users. Relational database can be used with little or no training. So next we have the object-oriented model. It was developed owing to the database structure to be drawback of relational database management system, not supporting easily the distribution of one database across a number of servers. The user can define their own data accessing method, their representation of data, and method of manipulating. Characteristics are: these are small recyclable separated of software called objects. The objects themselves are stored in the object-oriented database. Each object contains of two elements. One is piece of data. For example, it can be a sound or video or text or graphics. Instruction or software programs called methods for manipulating with the data. The data models are designed to work with OOP languages such as Delphi, Ruby, C++, Java, and Python. The ability to mix and match reusable objects provides incredible multimedia capability. Then we have the last one, object relational model. This model is a hybrid database model combining the simplicity of the relational model with some of the advanced functionality of the object-oriented data model. So in the next video, we will going to discuss about the status of the items. Thank you.